Hello, today I'm joined by my guest Matt Bradley from Savard. How you doing, Matt?
I'm very well. How are you, David?
Yeah, I'm very, very well. It's a bit colder, it's a bit darker.
Yeah.
And certainly here in Manchester we average at this time of year about half an hour of daylight.
Yeah.
Now the reason I say that, ladies and gentlemen, is if you ever sat in traffic in the early morning or the early afternoon now, it's starting to get dark and you look around you. And the things that stand out are the things that are lit up and in your face. And that's why I want to talk to you about digital signage today, because estate agents, we have this sort of great internal debate, Matt, about whether or not we still need a high street presence. There are those that say, well, we don't, we're able to do it from our bedroom. And then there's quite a lot of us who are big fans of having a high street presence because it is probably one of the best billboards you're ever going to get in terms of, being in the mind of your local public. And those windows, so confession, my first job at the age of 16 was way before digital signage had even
No,
been
it's not,
thought
David.
of.
No, it's not.
In fact, digital printing hadn't been thought of. My job was to stick photographs of properties onto a detail sheet, which I would then put into a window display. So we've always known as estate agents that really, in terms of prime real estate that we're dealing with, those window displays really are that shop front to the world, and that people that are passing us by basically in traffic and also on foot walking their dog. And it can happen at any time of day or night, so you need to be ready for it. But they will stop because we're all curious about properties and we're all curious about what's being advertised in these displays. And so many estate agents are still sort of stuck in the dark ages. A lot of them have upgraded from those simple kind of paper copies of things in the window. They've now got these LED frames that
Yeah.
make it light up a little bit more. I'm going to tell you those are hit and miss because when the LEDs go, you get different, brightnesses and so on. But the one thing that tends to sort of work better than most things to anchor people's attention is a moving digital display
Yeah.
that actually captures attention. So, Matt, I'm going to hand over to you just to sort of tell us a little bit about what you guys do, and we'll get into this.
Sure. I mean, you make a very valid point because front window displays, it's kind of an overlooked sort of element within the marketing these days with agents. Obviously, it's very much driven sort of online, but again, it's hard to stand out online these days. It's very, very crowded. We're all bombarded with noise. So, Savard is a digital signage platform. So it's basically turning your sort of front window into your own digital marketing channel, of which obviously you can put whatever you want on there. But predominantly, it's obviously we hook directly into your CRM system or your content management system. So you can put all your listings on there, and you can choose whether it's particular price points, postcodes, and create different presentations. But the other key thing that we actually do is how do we go beyond that as well? How do you use it as you would any other sort of marketing about pitching yourselves as the best local agent, the thought leader, the expert, which is what people are looking for, obviously, when they're looking to rent, buy, sell, and let their properties. And that's where we can automate that as well. So any kind of data sources that you've got, whether it be board count, companies such as Price Hubble, putting all that information out there. So it has some value in a way that even if people aren't looking to move directly, then it's that consistent messaging, as we always know with marketing, it's being present and putting it out there. And
No.
it's how you go about that, and we can automate all of that within it. So it's just trying to package it up more than just what stereotypically people think digital signage, get your listings in the window. We do all of that, which is amazing, but there's a lot more to it than that as well.
So consistency is something that we always talk about. When we're training people, we try to sort of say, when you talk about customer service,
Yeah,
consistency is the key. And I think it's hard enough to get it right one independent branch to get everybody's marketing absolutely looking the same,
Yeah,
making sure that we're not treating different price brackets differently. You know, we're giving the same amount of love to all our customers because they're going to want to have equal
yeah,
billing, if you like, in our window space. Doing it at scale. So if I've got one, two, three, four, 10 branches,
yeah.
that consistency dilemma becomes even harder to manage. What I love about your solution is it's really a marketing manager's dream, isn't it? Because what we get to do is to almost set the consistent core marketing for the company, and we can then sort of roll it out across all the different branches so that the displays all mirror the same content. You may be tweaking it per area, so you might be using, you mentioned things like Dataloft and Price Hubble, which are
Mhm.
great at producing local stats for a particular area. So if you were in an area called Bradley, then you would have, you know, the Bradley stats there. And if I'm in Manchester, I'm going to have the Manchester stats there. We can do that, but we can also get all the rest of the marketing looking the same, sounding the same, and getting that tone the same. So you don't worry any rogue branch managers going off on their own tangent. But from a marketing point of view and you know, consistent marketing messages, they really matter, don't they?
Yeah, massively. I think one thing that we do layer in is even if a branch manager can get in there, is that we've got the branding. So your brand will be put in sort of the back end, so you can put whatever you want out there, and it will be on brand, so that you don't have to worry about that. But yeah, consistent marketing messages, and also especially if you are sort of a wider group, is to get that consistency. We have all seen it where, like you say, the road branch manager goes, I've got a great idea,
Yeah.
let's do this. And you look
Special offer this Christmas. Yeah.
exactly, yeah, special commission rate, whatever it might be. And you go, oh, yeah, cool idea, but wrongly executed. And that's where, again, just something like this is a platform to make it a little bit more, okay, if you do want to do that, this is what it lies within. You can do that because obviously, for an independent, you still get all the benefits of obviously getting that as well. But for a sort of a wider network or a number of different sort of potential agencies that are there, you do get that where you can actually have sort of locked down what branch managers can do as well within the back end. And then obviously, if there is a marketing manager, they can look after the whole thing as well. So it works for sort of literally one branch right the way through to if you had 100 or 100 plus, it doesn't matter.
So we've touched on the integrations point because I think it does make Savard quite unique in as much as you play nicely with others. You are willing to sort of integrate with pretty much anything and any system,
Yeah.
which is great because we've all taken it for granted, I suppose, that most of the forward-thinking CRMs are able to sort of give us a link that we can send our property data to a digital display. That's one thing that we've been expecting from CRMs. But there are other systems. We talked about Dataloft Price Hubble, which is great. They do loads of infographics. They do lots and lots of local property data. But there are other systems as well. If you could sort of give agents tips on how to shake up those window displays so that it's not just this is a house, it's three bedrooms, 200,000, come and get it.
Mhm.
What other content could agents be pushing out to their window displays?
So it's the biggest one, as we well know, within sort of the estate agency world, is sort of word of mouth. So obviously your testimonials and your reviews. Again, that consistency of going past saying, seeing how well you're doing from people that were in the local area. So that's one. Obviously, we've talked about the marketing data. There's seasonal sort of promotions or local community updates. Obviously, again, trying to cement yourself not just as an expert within the estate agency world, but obviously working within the community. So any updates that you've got within there. The team, as we all know as well, it's great having nice branding. It's great having all the other assets behind you, but it's the team that make it. Trying to showcase a little bit more about who they are, what they are, and putting that out there. As we well know, pictures of people have actually ended up on obviously the
Yeah.
board these days. So it's just another element of sort of bringing that as well. And really, it's anything that you feel can sort of strengthen your position as being this expert, and what else you can sort of showcase within that as you being an agent. So you can obviously run this is for sort of larger agencies, but you can run sort of brand level marketing or marketing campaigns, which are obviously sort of seasonality potentially. Or you can do, if you wanted to, you can obviously put your walkthroughs on there. So obviously, as we know, quite hot these days. Everyone's turned into an influencer that are on sort of social media, but these videos can also be playing on there, as well as your Matterports and things like that. So it depends how you structure it, really. So obviously, we give you all the tools to do this, but it is sort of thinking about how you want to market yourself within that, and what's going to appeal best to your local sort of demographic.
Because we are, as agents, I think we're constantly having to reinvent ourselves, but it's a process of almost arbitrage for people's attention. That's
Yeah,
what we're going after. And so we will advertise on socials. We're going to advertise. We used to advertise quite heavily in the newspapers until that became not a thing anymore. In some areas, it still is, surprisingly. But certainly, social media, we do nurturing emails. We'll any kind of touch point we can, where we can reinforce our brand presence and sort of send people the message that actually we can be trusted with
yeah.
your business and with your single biggest I almost said tax-free asset, but the budget kind of changed that a little bit yesterday. But it's still massive amounts of money that we're trusted with, huge moves that people are making at very important moments in their life. And if we are missing the one sort of almost key ingredient out of all of those touch points, we're not making use of the window. You're quite right, because I think the content that we're producing these days, you mentioned those walkthroughs and everybody being an influencer. What we're training both the public and ourselves into doing is creating really nice looking content that lasts for anywhere between 30 and 90 seconds.
Mhm.
If you can have that playing, so because people don't have time, so they will see it. If that's good enough for Instagram, to me, it's perfect for your window display, because
Yeah.
if I'm at the traffic lights for 90 seconds, I get to see a really cool walkthrough. I'll
Mhm.
be like, first of all, this agent understands how to present properties. They
Yeah.
understand how to produce viral content that I'm going to be happy with on my own home. And I
Mhm.
might even say, I'd like some more details on that property. So,
Mhm.
we're really missing a trick if we don't take advantage of that.
Exactly. And it's the old adage, isn't it? You could have the greatest product in the world, but if no one sees it, then what's the point? So this is just, as I say, another way of your own digital marketing channel, right where your potential customers are walking past day in, day out, high footfall, high traffic areas. Predominantly, that's where agents obviously reside. And this is just emphasizing another way to get your message out there. And all the content that you've made great content, but if you've only got X amount of followers that are going to see it due to the lovely algorithms that we have on social media these days, or if people are actively hunting, obviously, this is a very much a sort of carrot to try and get people to, like you say, from a property listing perspective, to go, "Oh, okay, that looks interesting," as well as that consistent why question. Why you? Why am I going to trust you with my business? And just those punchy marketing one-liners that people keep seeing day in, day out, day in, day out. And as I say, it might not be tomorrow that they'll come in or email or give you a call, but that consistency over a 4 or 5 month, 6 month, year period, even of seeing when they do make that decision and commitment that they're going to sell or rent or whatever it might be, who they're going to call, and that's who we want them to see that and influence their decision.
And it's interesting because you mentioned algorithm there, and in my head I'm thinking, yeah, we make that algorithm sweat for all it's worth online. We try to target people within a certain area. It doesn't get more local. The human algorithm of actually having a shop front in the area that you serve,
Yeah,
anybody that passes by that window, thereby is included in that little algorithm. But the
yeah.
fact that they are local, they perceive your local brand presence, and they sort of see And I think an agent that is so upfront with their marketing and places it so prominently in their window display, if
Mhm.
I was a potential seller or a landlord and I'm thinking, who am I going to give my property to? I'm going to give it to the person that shouts the loudest about it and
Mhm.
that takes up most of that. And I think that is the job there. And I think that any agent would be well advised to look into it. So talking about how agents then get involved with Savard and the sort of results that you're getting, anybody who does a little bit of research will see that you guys are experts on large scale digital signage across the country in many, many different formats. The
Yeah.
estate agency sector obviously is a little bit more bespoke.
Mhm.
Um, just to explain, who is it every sort of business that you're looking to work with? Is there a particular size that kind of hits a sweet spot? And, how quickly could they onboard with you if they wanted to go ahead?
Yeah, sure. I mean, it can range. We can go from an independent agent right the way up to where we've worked with Savills, estate agents, and still do. So it can be 100 plus, 500 plus, 1,000 plus. It doesn't matter. The scalability of the system, because it is a web-based system, it can scale to whatever you need. So it's more about if the agent's the right fit, are they forward thinking, are they on the forefront of sort of marketing, and is this going to fit within kind of what they do? Obviously, very automated the system as well, so we try to make sure it isn't another headache for them on the to-do list. It's more of a this looks amazing, we can let it run. In regards to onboarding, very simple, really. Actually, the software, which is obviously the core, shall we say, and it's the motor in regards to sort of everything that is with digital signage. The actual core platform, we could set someone up within a day, but it depends then in regards to sort of integrations and what they want to do. So that's sort of the software itself. But really, there are three pillars when it comes to digital signage. One is the hardware, one is the software, and obviously one is the content. So we are experts and specialists in the content, in the software, and we've got two hardware suppliers that we can refer in. Obviously, these screens go from sort of the smaller sort of level, basic level, right way
Huge.
through to premium to, yeah, if you want to fill the whole window, we don't recommend that. But if you want to fill the whole of your window, you can. And obviously, the actual digital signage screens, as I think you said right at the start, David, they are very punchy in regards to the brightness. They are very different to your normal TV.
Yeah.
So you can go from sort of basic level right the way through to sort of high end. I mean, our system will run off a Fire Stick. Would never recommend it, but it can do. So, like I say, you can get these screens. We've also got leasing options on them as well because they're quite expensive. So we try not to make that a barrier to obviously someone looking to get this installed. So we've got all that with software, and obviously, if you need help with content, we've got sort of creative agencies as well as freelancers that can help make sort of any content that you've got maybe more applicable to digital signage or amend anything or create new content as well that again you could use on the digital signage screens and online. So it's a very straightforward process. We're kind of consultative with it as well. My background is very much within marketing and property related from that side as well. So I know the industry very well. I know obviously what you're trying to appeal to. So I can also help a little bit on that side as well as trying to obviously streamline this process to be as quick as possible. Because it's one of those, if you see it, most agents turn around and go, I love it. Let's get it in. How quick can we get it in? What can we do?
Really interesting. We always ask our guests for statistics that sort of give us an idea as to how effective a product may be or hints towards sort of, things like ROI. But you've given us four standout stats, which I'm going to read out because some of
Mhm.
them genuinely did blow my mind because you don't think of it. So anybody out there who's going, oh yeah, digital signage, yeah, we've seen that before. What difference is it going to make? This is the difference it's going to make. So digital displays capture 400% more views than static materials. So anything that's moving it grabs people's attention by effectively 4 times more. Digital signage has a recall rate, so people are able to remember it, remember what they've seen advertised on it of 83%, which is quite high. And if you think about the amount of marketing that you have to get in front of a customer in order to get them to remember your brand or your content on a level that's 83%, you'd struggle in other mediums to do the same. So this is fantastic. 80% of customers choose to enter stores after viewing digital signage. So they see it on the outside. It, like I say, any agent that's willing to put it on the outside there so prominently, they obviously are inviting people in. They're people that are not shy, and you're going to get more footfall as a result of it. And then the last stat was that 64% of digital signage users cite increased customer engagement as one of those main benefits of digital signage. So it's all feeding into the same thing. All the roads here lead to actually engaging with the public and and effectively leveraging something that you already own. Yeah, that as we said, that space is there. You're just making the very best of it. Um, Matt, if I could, we always like to talk about what's coming next and what's coming in the future. And there's lots of talk about, well, everywhere you turn, we're talking about AI and various different things. But in terms of digital signage, there is something that we can do to take it to the next step. And when I saw this, it was genuinely quite interesting. I don't know how much you can give away at this stage because it's in early development, but do you want to tell us a little bit about where that roadmap might be headed?
Yeah, so it's come from obviously what's available now, because obviously how quick tech moves, but also as well specifically within sort of the agency world. And basically, we're doing some sort of beta testing our end with a product that you would have. Well, first of all, it's called face detection, not recognition. Big difference. We're not MI5,
Okay.
it's face detection. So basically we would put a camera either on top of the screen or just to the side if you have it in your front window. And what that would then do is recognize who is in front of you in regards to a persona. So they would understand, let's sake of argument, it's myself in front of the window with my partner and 2 children. It would understand male, female, 2 children, family, obviously within the area of where we live, and then what we could actually do there is automate it straight through to show a presentation of family-sized homes
That's
that you have
fascinating.
available within the area. So it's bringing a level of personalization to digital signage that just isn't there at the moment. And it can also understand sort of the exact footfall, people who are in front of the window, who's actually interacting with what properties, what they're looking at, and it can actually understand the facial expressions.
That's amazing. You mean you chose there as a sort of a young family, which is great. So you get family content, but presumably then if we're dealing with somebody who's middle age or in their later years, it will start to possibly recognize that it needs to show them content for people who might be downsizing or retiring or whatever it may be. So it really sort of takes a one size fits all digital signage medium and it sort of personalizes it to the person that's actually stood right in front of it. We're talking Back to the Future stuff here, aren't we?
Pretty much, pretty much. If you've got some, you know how valuable it is to get someone's attention these days. And that's the whole point, is to get their attention, personalize it to them to push through that door and come and speak to you. But it's very future tech, yes. And but it works because we all gone are the days of marketing and was literally a brand name and a few little slides on talking about the business. These days the expectations is you are not treated like a number, you are treated personal to who exactly who you are, and we're bringing that element into your front window, which bringing it right back to basics, unfortunately a window card can't do.
It's fascinating stuff. It's just that's amazing. That really does take it to the next level. I'd be very excited to see that working because I think that the future of marketing is personalization. Because in a world of marketing that just seems very samey,
Yeah,
any excuse really that we can get in customer service to tailor it to an individual's wants and needs is going to make it cut through so much better. So that is definitely one to watch for the future. Matt, thank you so much for taking the time to talk to us today.
that's
We
it.
will want to see that in action. So bring it back when it's operational. When do you expect to be able to roll that sort of stuff out?
Well, we like I say, we're doing sort of beta testing at the moment, and then I think it'll be the idea of actually picking a particular agent that we get on very well with to put this in to trial it. Obviously, again, it won't affect anything that obviously is sort of downtime in regards to the system, but as with everything, we want to make sure it's 100% before it goes out. So hopefully, going into the new year, I'll probably say we're still a bit of work to do on it, but within the next sort of quarter, second quarter of next year, we should be in a position where we will be able to offer this out.
Superb, superb. Thank you very much.
Brilliant. Thank you, David.
Thank you.